Hey, Plums, I've got a question actually for both of you guys. It's James here from Crowd Goes Wild. It's about red cards, yellow cards. What do you think of the system, and do you think it should be changed? Are you happy with the way things went on Saturday? I noticed that Sam Kane got cleaned out by James Slipper. Nothing happened. Your thoughts, Plums?
Yeah, look, I mean, I know there's been a bit of a noise about it after the weekend, but, the rules are in place for what the rules say foul play is. And, I guess we've got an obligation to make sure that on the field that the players are safe. And when we're coaching the players individually and collectively, we're always talking about body height and making sure that in contact that we do the right thing and and we target the right areas in terms of where we make contact. But at times the player's going to get that wrong under pressure, and we saw that in the weekend. So yeah, it's created a little bit of drama after the test match. And they've got the processes that in place now for both players, and we'll see how that turns out for Offa.
And for you, Sam, would you have preferred everyone to stay on the field, even the guy who clocked you in the face, or are you happy with the way things turned out?
I think for myself, it's something that I can't control as a player. It's the ref's out there for a reason, so he's got awesome support there with the two touchies and the TMO. So for me, I've just got to not worry about that. Let the ref and his crew do that. So they're out there to make sure the game's played, fair but also firmly. We're all grown men out there playing a contact sport. So as Plum said, sometimes we do get it wrong, but making sure that we're not getting caught up in all the other stuff. We're rugby players and we're out there to play rugby.
And Plum, just back to you on that James Slipper clean out. He got Sam directly to the head. Sam obviously was annoyed at the time. The replays, they didn't show any decent ones. Surprise, surprise. But did you guys complain about that in the end? Was there anything said?
No, there was nothing. The players reacted to that situation, and rightly so. If a whistle goes and a hit goes in, the boys are going to get annoyed by it, and I think that's probably what happened. But there was nothing that Sam was a bit frustrated with himself for reacting to it, to be honest. But it's never nice to get hit late, and these boys will react to those types of situations. I guess the key for us is making sure that when something like that does happen, that our next job we move on really quickly and we don't let that type of thing fluster our game.
Sam, it's Mel Woods here from AAP. I just wondered, is your black guy from Lockie Swinton's tackle on you, or was it from another incident in the game?
A couple of different things. Got a finger in the eye and just dong heads as I was carrying the ball. So no, it's not from that incident at all.
And I also wondered, I guess, according to the letter of the law, that if the ref follows that, then they have to red card the players. But would you like to see perhaps that red cards are maybe used more for sort of incidents that are, premeditated foul play, and then otherwise players perhaps get a yellow card or whatever, and then the citing system kind of deals with them afterwards. What's your sort of thoughts on that?
For me personally, it doesn't actually matter how it's reffed or ruled, as long as it's consistent from the referee and the judiciary, without being one set of rules for one team or one competition. I think as long as there's consistency, everyone can work out, and then it's on our job as players and Plum's our job as a coach to make sure that we train and learn what we can and can't do. So if it's lowering our tackle height, if it's wrapping our arms in a tackle, it all kind of goes from there.
Luke Robinson here from New Sub. John, for you as a coaching staff, what's the main thing you guys want to see from the boys this week in terms of an improvement?
Yeah, we pulled apart our game last weekend. There were clearly some things we got wrong. So that's been our big focus yesterday, today. Just correcting little parts of our game that we know that if we execute, we're going to create opportunities for ourselves to score tries. And right now we're just not nailing a few of those little roles. So that's been a big part of our review and something that we worked hard on today. It's nice that we're playing against a different opposition this week, so it gives the players a slightly different focus, or gives us all a different focus, playing against obviously Argentina and not Australia. So that's pretty much a quick summary of it.
Was it execution, did you say?
Yeah, just little parts of our game that we weren't happy with around creating opportunities, maybe with a little bit more width if we got things right a little bit closer. And they're just small parts of the game that are just so important for our players to see. And if they execute those little parts, then we're going to create more opportunities.
Was physicality one of those things that you guys were looking back on this week? It looked like, at times maybe you were out-muscled a little bit in that game last week?
Not really. No, it's our forwards going well. Our game line stats were right up there. So no, physicality is certainly not one of them.
Hi Sam, if I could just go back to tackle technique, and you mentioned tackle height, wrapping the arms and stuff. How difficult or how much do you need to practice a new technique for it to become second nature? Because obviously for the predominance of your career so far, you've been able to tackle a lot higher legally. I just wonder how easy is it to become second nature?
I think it's the same with any skill, whether it's catch, pass, tackle, anything, scrum, line out. You've got to break the skill down and actually go right back to the start. So doing it without any pressure. So it might just be walking, taking all the speed and intent out of it first, and then just building up the skill slowly. And I think when we do that as players, and it's great when our coaches do the same, it allows you to break old habits, and then you just got to spend time in the seat and keep working on those skills that you're trying to change, and then all of a sudden it becomes natural, like you say. And when that happens, it's really rewarding to review your game, or even in game know that you improved on that skill that you've been working on for the last week or two, or sometimes even longer.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask. Even if it's anecdotally or a rough estimate, do you know how long sometimes it's taken you to break an old habit, tackling wise?
For myself, I've played a few games, and you make a few at training, you make a few afterwards during the skill blocks, and then obviously out there in a game. So, it's something that as an All Black and a rugby player that you're working on the whole time. So, to answer your question, I've probably been working on my defence, my tackle, my whole life, and that's no different to any rugby athlete. They're always working on those things.
And just away from the tackling, onto the opponents, Plums has already touched on it, but getting to prepare for a different team must seem, in a way, quite refreshing for you as players?
Yeah, it's always challenging playing a team, 3 or 4 times in a row, and we'll just come off that. So it is a bit different now looking at it at the RGs and working out how they play. They haven't had a lot of footy to play, so there's not actually a heap to look at film-wise, but we have played them a number of times in the past through the Rugby Championship, so there's definitely some traits that they'll have there, and it has been refreshing working out how they're going to play and how we're going to try to stop it, but then also how we're going to impose our game against them.
John, just in terms of the performance aspect across when you look back at the 4 tests against the Wallabies, I guess there's a bit of inconsistency. 2 very dominant performances to ones that you wouldn't have been happy with. What do you sort of attribute that to?
I guess like I said, the Wellington test wasn't wasn't a great start for us, but everything was pretty new for both teams, and you'd hardly say it was an epic test match from a spectacle point of view. And then we just went about our work and got better and better, and our goal was to win the Bledisloe Cup, and we did that in Australia. It's the first time it's been done for a long time, so we were obviously really delighted with that. And last week we changed the team up a little bit, made a few different combinations. Not making excuse for that. I mean, the side was still a great side that we put out, but we clearly lost a little bit of rhythm with that team, and as it was, we could have won that Test match as well. So yeah, we're looking to build again, and like Sam said, we've got new opposition this week, and we just carry on.
And just in terms of selection, you mentioned there you made a number of changes. I guess that has last week changed your mind looking ahead to this week in terms of what your approach might be? Can we expect a return to, I guess, those teams that what you maybe call first choice that you ran out against Australia and those two dominant wins, or do you still look to tinker and experiment and give fringe guys a run?
Yeah, look, I mean, we've got obviously some really good choices what we do here with selection. We've got some great players that are not selected, outside the 23 that have played really well all year, and there's guys that have had a little bit of an opportunity last week, and of course we sort of the Test matches that we won in Sydney and Auckland were the same team that were consistent in selection, I guess. So we're not. I'm not going to give that away now. We'll name the team in the normal time. So you'll just have to speculate on that as you will.
Plums, can you just talk to the fitness of your squad? Do you have everyone available, particularly Joe Moody? I wonder how he is.
Yeah, Joe's come on nicely. He's certainly going to be available this week. He's had a couple of weeks off. He was really close last week, but we chose to keep him out just for his safety. But now he's good to go.
Yeah, sorry, John. I was just saying before something dropped out. Are you happy with your cover at tight end if you do lose off into suspension? Is Nepo with the team or not? Just checking on that.
No, we're expecting Nepo over this week. His wife's given birth to a beautiful baby boy, I believe. So we're expecting him out. I think Tuesday or Wednesday.
Thank you. And just last one from me. You've had a not a huge amount, but more players have had a general philosophy.
Ooh.
No, go again.
Sorry, all we heard was there.
Sorry, sorry. Just to say again, John. Several players have had 4 test starts, I think, in 5 weeks through those first 4 tests. Are you happy for them, maybe 1 or 2 of those, to have a 5th, or do you need to manage loads?
Those are just individual conversations that we'll have with those players to see how they're feeling, what their well-being's like. Right now we're all in good shape. We had a really light day yesterday, a lot of meetings, but a really light day, and trained hard this morning in pretty hot conditions here in Sydney, but the boys look really good. So yeah, it would. That's not a major concern for us right now. Everyone's, we've obviously had some players that have rested up a little bit, but there are guys like Sam here that are chugging along nicely. Although Sam missed the Auckland test, so we're pretty happy where the boys are at the moment.
John Clay from RNZ here. Just one on office situation. Lockie Swinton's got 4 weeks. What are your sort of hopes and expectations for office situation based on Lockie getting 4 weeks for his tackle?
Yeah, I've certainly. He's going up tonight. I think the hearing's tonight. So with these types of things, we wouldn't know really. So I know. There's a lot of work going on behind the scenes around office case, and just hopefully for us that they'll see some of that and see it positively, and that we'll get a good result there. But like I say, it's in these types of circumstances, wouldn't have a clue what's going to happen.